Welcome back to Tahoe. Tonight, Mr. Frangione from the Lake Tahoe Unified School District and the college as well, representing both entities,
correct.
sort of, and school safety in general. Give somebody the big picture out there that's sitting on their couch that have seen those incidents happen and are thinking, what are you guys doing to prevent?
Right. So one of the big things you have to deal with when you think of school safety is, are you going to be reactionary or are you going to be proactive? And here in the Basin, one of the most, I think, interesting parts of how we're approaching it is we're going at both of them simultaneously. So not only are we looking at how to react, and in fact, we've built what's called a REACT team, which is an acronym for Regional Emergency Action Crisis Team, which really takes what a lot of people think is a liability and turns it into a true asset, and that's taking all of our law enforcement locally and combining forces, as well as medical and fire. But then we're also going proactive and getting in touch with the kids.
So with that, are you part of an organization that is bringing all of those together, or how are you tying it all together and making it happen?
Yeah, so the school district and the college are both active. Particularly the school district started this they wanted to try to bring some talent to the area and be able to leverage whatever we need to be leveraging in order to get the most out of our safety here locally. And what we did was we immediately assembled all of our local law and fire and medical folks. And at that point, then we've acted as sort of a glue, if you will, as a group to address any and all issues, whether it's reactionary, tactical training, doing training simultaneous with our staff, as well as staff trainings, and then at the same time plugging into the kids from really K through 14. That's the goal.
That's the proactive stage.
Exactly.
That's the proactive stage.
Exactly.
So because that's where they start. That's where the root of the problem is, or the issue in general. So
Right.
what are some of those steps? Is it coaching and having a police officer come in and do lecture or something like that? What do you guys have going for that?
It's a really good question. So the biggest problem we've got is that there's no book. There's nothing written on this really to speak of. So we're inventing this as we go. And we're doing it really in a 3 or 4 pronged approach. The primary prongs are, we're looking, number 1, to actively engage students. We're looking at, number 2, to get a finger on the pulse of those students, to find ones that might need some assistance, perhaps get mental health plugged back into the school districts, as well as, and third, probably I think one of the biggest ones is helping students really get a better feel for law enforcement, fire, and all these emergency services folks, and really understand who they are, the faces and the names behind the badges.
Become more familiar with them so they can turn to those folks and be more comfortable.
Rebuild trust.
Right,
Exactly.
right. So that's the proactive, and then the reactive. So the reactive team, is it sort of, I mean, you say you guys are writing the book essentially on this because it is a newer issue within the past. I mean, what was the first one? Columbine, essentially. I mean, one of the
biggest ones that hit the press.
That's what hit the press, right? And
Right.
made everybody start taking these steps. But now it's become more increasingly popular. And now you guys are trying to write steps so everybody's on the same page.
Doing our best. Yeah, we're sort of driven here locally by geography. We're driven here locally by resource challenges and these sorts of things. And so it's really an outcome of what it is we automatically have here in the Basin. We're a small community that stays close together, and that's really why this has developed the way it is. And in fact, I guess in a way we are writing the book.
And so this is slightly city funded, or I mean, you guys are always in need for funds, right? Because this stuff doesn't happen for free.
No,
I mean,
it
getting all
doesn't.
these agencies together. Let people know how they can get involved or take part. Give them your information so they can call you directly and say, hey, I want to know more.
Definitely, yeah. We're definitely using local funds, but we're also trying to do as much as we can for as inexpensive as we can. But yeah, we have multiple, venues where we can definitely use some help.
Your phone number, would they call you directly?
That's correct. The information on the screen is accurate.
Right there. Thanks for coming in, Al,
Appreciate
and
it.
all the steps you're taking to make it a safer environment for the
Thank you.
children out
I
there.
appreciate
So
that.
you're watching Tahoe tonight. Stick with us here. Quick commercial break. We'll be back.